This is the last night.
What's the word, YouTube? I got y'all with another video. We got missing persons photos found after they went missing from Chillin' Scares. We got another video, y'all. I appreciate y'all watching the video. Make sure y'all subscribe. Make sure y'all turn the noise on. Make sure y'all share the video. Jesus Christ is the way and the truth and the life. And let's get to the video, y'all. Best content, best quality. Let's get to it, y'all. My fault if I haven't been posting for like 6 or 7 days because my phone, it wasn't working, and my shorts, when I be making shorts on my YouTube and stuff like that, like them short videos, I really couldn't do it because my phone was like glitching and stuff like that, so I really couldn't do nothing. I mean, I couldn't make some like regular videos, but I knew if I made regular videos, I had to make shorts for that too. That's how I like do my stuff. Like make video shorts, video shorts. That's how I do my stuff. But I'm gonna definitely try to be more consistent because that was like a 6 or 7 day layoff or something like that. And Wenskiii gotta be consistent with new videos every other day for y'all at least. But hey man, we got a new video. Let's get to the video, y'all. Chillin' Scares. Let's get to it.
Known photo of
I'm not talking.
12-year-old Jared Negretti. A self-portrait he snapped on July 19, 1991 after he was officially declared missing earlier that day. Jared was a member of the Boy Scouts, and July 19 was meant to be a milestone. It was his first overnight backpacking trip to the summit of Mount San Gorgonio, the highest peak in Southern California.
That is shit, bro. Oh my gosh, that shit don't even look like that's from Cali, bro. That shit look like that's from like Asia or South Europe, bro. Hey, that shit look beautiful though. That's all God right there.
Jared, alongside 5 fellow Boy Scouts and an adult troop leader, started the hike early in the morning. While the hike started off just as planned, the 11,000-foot ascent eventually took
That's a big ass mountain. Damn.
its toll on Jared specifically. He started to fall behind at around 6 p.m.
But them shits look like the mountains from Los Santos. If you know what I'm talking about, and you fly with them pressers, like them NK pressers, y'all know what I'm talking about.
Able to keep pace with the rest of the group. Determined to stick to the schedule, the group leader decided to go ahead with the other 5 kids and leave Jared behind. A choice he would come to regret for the rest of his life.
What happened? I'm gonna go back. I didn't hear it clearly.
Determined to stick to the schedule, the group leader decided to go ahead with the other 5 kids and leave Jared behind. A choice he would come to regret for the rest of his life.
Damn.
Not long after, a different group of hikers saw Jared descending the mountain alone, and doing so in a dangerously unsafe way by shortcutting the switchbacks. Which, for those who don't know, it means he was ignoring the zigzagging trail designed to safely navigate.
Oh, so he was probably like, look at my cursor right here. He was just probably going through like the trees out here and just taking the shortcut. That's probably what he meant right there.
Steep terrain, and was instead heading straight down the slope.
Yep.
The hikers had warned Jared about the dangers of straying from the designated path, and also made sure to inform the scout
Safety is always first, even though I keep on talking, but safety is first whenever you do safety.
leader when they had caught up with the troop further up the mountain. The leader, however, shrugged off their concern, stating that they'd catch up with Jared on their way back. Unfortunately, by the time they came back, Jared was nowhere to be seen.
Oh.
It didn't take long for the troop to realize the gravity of the situation. They quickly descended to the base camp and managed to call for help around midnight, sparking one of the largest search and rescue missions in the region's history. Over the following days, rescue teams scoured a massive 130 square mile stretch of the San Gorgonio wilderness.
Damn.
But there was no sign of Jared anywhere. It wasn't until day 3 with
Hey, what do y'all think happened to that kid? Because they said there's no traces of his footsteps or nothing. Literally nothing, that he is gone, bro. Hey, that shit's crazy, bro. Like, make sure you have people around you. Make sure you don't leave them one time. And make sure you're safe, bro.
when they found their first.
Because if you don't have people around you and you're not safe, something, like, God forbid, something's bad gonna happen to you. Especially if it's nighttime in the woods like this, bro. Hell no, bro. I would never do that, bro.
Clue. A footprint matching the high-top sneakers he was wearing at the time of his disappearance.
Oh.
Further search of that area also uncovered more items that belonged to Jared, including the wrappers for beef
Hey, God bless his soul. Rest in peace to Jared, whatever his name is.
jerky and candy, and most importantly, the disposable camera he had with him. Inside, the film held 12 photos, most of which were landscapes he captured throughout the trip. But the final image taken
That shit look beautiful though.
after he had gone missing was a chilling close-up of Jared's
Whoa.
own eyes and nose, illuminated.
Hey, y'all see that face right there? Oh no, I'm not tweaking. What the hell? Y'all see that shit? That look like a demon or a ghost back there. Y'all see that shit? And this is like, he was taking a picture of that camera before he died. And this looked like a demon back there. What the hell? I rebuke that in Jesus' name, and God bless Jared's soul, bro. Rest in peace.
By the camera's flash. And while this photo proved that Jared was still alive hours after he went missing, it offered little to no clue about his whereabouts. The pitch black background and low resolution obscured any background details that might have helped rescuers pinpoint where the photo was taken. Over the next 2 weeks, nearly 3,000 volunteers and professionals poured more than 45,000 combined hours into searching the vast San Bernardino National Forest. But with no solid leads to follow, the search dragged on without making any significant progress. On August 4, after 16 days, the search for Jared was officially called off by the authorities, leaving the mystery of his disappearance unsolved to this day. So, what really happened to Jared? Well, there are several possibilities.
Do y'all think some random people snatched him up and then killed him? Or he just disappeared by himself and then he just... I don't even know. I feel like it's the first one, because if you're alone by yourself with that camera and you have no people around you, there's like a 95% chance either you're gonna die by like a creature or a human being by yourself, or you're just gonna lose out of sight, even though if you're dead or not, basically, aka missing. Oh fuck.
The first of which is that he accidentally took the wrong trail and got lost while trying to catch up with the rest of the Boy Scouts. However, while getting lost is a common cause of disappearance in the wilderness, it doesn't quite...
But if he just died by himself, there wouldn't be no picture of him, like, you know what I mean? There's somebody had to kill him or something like that.
add up in Jared's case. You see, this all took place in the middle of summer, so there was no risk of him succumbing to harsh elements like extreme cold. He also had plenty of drinkable water in the 2-quart canteen he had on him, not to mention the countless freshwater creeks and ponds dotted throughout the mountain.
For real?
Put simply, he would have survived for at least a few days, and with thousands of rescuers...
For real?
scouring the area, it's likely someone would have found him. So, a more plausible theory is that he potentially slipped and fell...
Oh, let me make sure that I'm recording. Alright, good. We're recording, chat. We're recording, chat.
Off a sheer cliff. After all, he was shortcutting the switchbacks when the second group of hikers spotted him. It's possible he kept taking those dangerous shortcuts after they left, and one misstep on the steep terrain in the darkness led to a fatal fall. But this still begs the question, why didn't any of the rescuers come across his body despite the extensive search? Which brings us to the third possibility.
Hey, that's a good question.
He was dragged away by a wild animal.
It could be that, or a human being or a creature just snatched him up, which like he said, and took a picture of him. It gotta be a human being, cause ain't no animal had to take a picture of a camera with that camera thing, bro. No way. They either had to kill him.
Mount San Gorgonio is home to both black bears and cougars.
Cougars?
Some people also believe the glowing dot in the background of Jared's last photo is one of the eyes of a predator that was stalking him at the time.
For real?
Of Jared's last
Bro, that looked like a face right there. Y'all see that?
photo is one of the eyes of a predator that was stalking him at the time. However,
where's a predator at? That shit look like Mike Wazowski, bro. That shit only got one eye, bro. What are you talking about?
the search teams didn't find any clue of this being the case either. There was no blood, torn clothes, or drag marks anywhere in the area, which points to the most disturbing possibility that instead Jared was abducted by someone. If we accept this as true, it explains why there was no sign of Jared or his body anywhere on the mountain. Unfortunately, it's been over 33 years since Jared vanished.
Damn, 33
investigators
years?
still haven't found anything that could guide them toward a proper conclusion. His disappearance remains just as much a mystery today as it was the day he went missing.
Hey, rest in peace to Jared, and my family, my condolences go out to him.
Leave all the mechanical stuff to me.
Fuck.
Maintenance, repairs, enhancements, you...
On June 15th, 1989, a woman in Port St. Joe, Florida, spotted a Polaroid photo lying in the parking lot of a convenience store on her way out.
7-Eleven?
Without thinking much of it, she picked it up and flipped it over. only to be met with a disturbing image she'd never forget.
Whoa. We got like a teenage girl and then like a around 9 to 12-year-old boy. What the hell?
Photo showed a young girl and a much younger boy lying in the back of a white, windowless van with duct tape over their mouths and their hands seemingly tied behind their backs. The woman alerted the police almost immediately, especially since the white van in the image looked eerily similar to the one she saw in the same parking lot minutes earlier. She also provided a description of the driver, allowing investigators to create a sketch of the suspect. However, even after setting up a perimeter around the area, the police weren't able to find the van or its driver. What they didn't know at the time was that this photo would eventually connect to...
Damn! The whole, what's it called? Suspect took both the two victims all the way from Florida to Albuquerque. What the hell?
A crime that took place more than 1,500 miles away.
Damn.
The victim of this crime was a 19-year-old college student named Tara Lee Calico. On September 20, 1988, nearly 9 months before the Polaroid was discovered, Tara left her home at around 9:30 a.m. for her daily bike ride. Every day, she'd ride down New Mexico's Highway 47 until reaching the railroad tracks intersecting the road, turning around and taking the same route back home. But on this particular day, Tara had plans with her boyfriend at 12:30 p.m. and didn't want to be late. So she told her mother, Patty, to come pick her up if she wasn't back by noon. And that's exactly what happened. When noon came and went with no sign of Tara, Patty got in her car and began driving along Tara's usual route, hoping to find her somewhere along the way. However, despite going up and down the highway a couple of times, she couldn't find Tara anywhere. Patty rushed back home and called the police to report Tara missing. The authorities immediately put together a search party and began looking for her in the surrounding area. And it wasn't long before they found their first clue, a cassette tape that Tara was likely listening to on the side of the highway. They also found tire tracks matching her bike near this cassette. Unfortunately, Tara and her neon pink bike were nowhere to be seen.
Damn.
As the search radius became larger, the only
They probably put that inside of the van with the suspect and the two victims.
other clue they found was a broken piece of her yellow cassette player, miles from where she was supposed to be. Patty believed her daughter had been abducted, and this piece was her way of leaving a trail. This theory was further supported by multiple witness accounts from people who reported seeing an old, worn-out pickup truck closely tailing Tara as she headed back home around 11:30 a.m. Witnesses also noted that Tara was wearing her headphones at the time and seemed unaware of the truck. This suspicion only became stronger when, 9 months after her disappearance, this Polaroid was discovered in Florida. The woman who found this didn't know about Tara's case at the time. But as the photo gained more attention, it eventually reached Patty, who became convinced that the girl in the picture was her missing daughter.
Damn.
Not only did this girl look like Tara, but Patty also noted that the book in the photo was from one of Tara's favorite authors. The connection between Tara and this photo deepened further when another New Mexico family came forward claiming they recognized the boy in the photo. They believed it was their son, 9-year-old Michael Henley, who'd gone...
No, they got the son and the daughter? No, bro.
missing in April of 1988 during a hunting trip with his father. However, that's when Tara's case took a turn. Because, as it turns out, there's a real possibility that the girl in the photo isn't Tara at all. For starters, in June of...
What do you mean by that?
There's a real possibility that the girl in the photo isn't Tara at all.
For
For
real?
starters, in June of 1990, investigators found the remains of Michael about 7 miles from the campsite he was
wow.
staying at. He wasn't abducted
That's sad, bro.
by anyone. Instead, he likely just wandered off, lost his way, and subsequently died of exposure to the elements. This led many to question whether the Polaroid had any real connection to Tara's specific disappearance at all. And investigations from different departments enhanced the confusion further. Some concluded that the girl in the photo was undoubtedly Tara, while others pointed out the many structural differences between their faces.
Eyebrow is straight and flat, and then on the right eyebrow curves smoothly over eye. Yeah. Plus, if you see like the tape around her mouth, hers like her mouth looks more bigger. Not like that, you know, bro. All right, chill out. But yeah, I don't know. I think this is a different person.
But if she wasn't abducted by the owner of this white van, then what exactly happened to Tara? Surprisingly, we might actually get a conclusive answer to this question more than 37 years after her disappearance. On the 13th of June 2023, the Valencia County Sheriff's Office announced a massive update on the case, stating, "At this time, law enforcement believes there is sufficient evidence to submit this investigation to the District Attorney's Office for review of potential charges. Currently, the identities and specifics of the persons of interest are sealed by the court and will remain so until a court order otherwise." Put simply, after decades of investigating, the police have finally cracked the case and are just waiting for the DA's approval to release the information to the public. As for why it took so long, a widely believed theory is that Tara was accidentally hit by a group of teenagers while biking home. Fearing the consequences, they panicked, abducted her, and eventually killed her to cover up the accident.
No, damn, that is sad, bro. Imagine like you just riding around your bike, just having your headphones on at the time, like 30 years ago, and then you accidentally get hit, and then some teenagers come get you and put you in a car and they kill you, bro. Bro, that is pure sad, bro. My condolences go out to her family, and rest in peace to this lady right here.
And according to some, one of those teenagers was the son of the local sheriff, leading to a deliberate and coordinated cover-up that kept the
Oh man, the police officer's son. If I was a police officer, I would be fuming and crashing out, bro.
truth buried for decades. Now, whether this theory holds any weight is unknown. But if this does turn out to be the case, who the girl in the Polaroid picture actually is remains a mystery.
Only God knows.
On June 8, 1988, an ATM in LA captured what were possibly the final moments of 22-year-old LA resident Matthew Chase.
Matthew?
The day had started like any other. Matt spent most of it at work, then went out for dinner with his roommate and close friend Teresa. When the two returned home at around 11:45 p.m., Matt noticed the paycheck he received earlier that day sitting on the coffee table. He was running low on funds, and the bank would have taken about 24 hours to clear the paycheck. So instead of waiting till morning, Matt decided to go deposit it right away. The nearest ATM was just 2 blocks away from their apartment. But since it was getting quite late, Teresa told him to take her car just to be on the safe side. She also asked him to bring a bag of cat food from the store across the street. The whole trip should have taken no more than 15 minutes. But an hour went by, and Matt still hadn't returned. Teresa figured he was just driving around town to get...
Hey, where city is located at? God damn, I can't speak.
some fresh air, so she went to sleep.
God forgive me for saying that, my fault.
However, when she woke up in the morning, Matt was still not home. She quickly got up and contacted her brother Steve, who was also good friends with Matt. Together, they called the police and tried to file a missing person report. Unfortunately, since Matt had only been missing for less than 12 hours, the police decided to hold off on launching an investigation just yet.
Why, though?
Unsatisfied with this response, Teresa and Steve decided to find clues themselves, and so Steve called the bank pretending to be Matt. According to the bank, Matt had unsuccessfully tried to withdraw money several times since, including one transaction of $280. This was quite odd for two main reasons. One, $280 was far above the maximum withdrawal limit for Matt's ATM card. More importantly, Matt's account didn't even have $100, let alone $280, which is why he would...
That don't make no sense, though. What the hell?
...out to deposit a paycheck in the first place. He should have known both of these things quite well. So the fact he tried to make these transactions anyway indicated that he was being forced to do so by someone else. Teresa and Steve called the police again with this newfound information, and this time authorities took the case more seriously. Though, unlike today, most ATMs at the time didn't have cameras. Luckily, one of the machines he tried to withdraw from did have a functioning camera, giving investigators a crucial lead. A grainy but discernible image of Matt at the ATM, with a mysterious...
Oh, y'all see that face right there? That's probably the dude who killed him.
...man
or kidnapped him.
...looming just behind him. As the investigation was going on, Matt's card was used again, a day and a half after his disappearance.
Oh yeah, he was definitely set up for sure.
By then, his paycheck had cleared, allowing whoever made this transaction to withdraw $400.
Damn.
The authorities took notice of this withdrawal and froze Matt's card. So the next time someone tried to use that card, it was confiscated by the ATM. Unfortunately, none of this helped investigators track down Matt or his kidnapper. There were 2 composite sketches made of the suspects from the low-res photo. But no one
That shit looked like Joe Biden on the left. What the hell?
recognized the man based on these. They also tried dusting the confiscated car for fingerprints, but it was completely clean. On June 27th, nearly 3 weeks after Matt's disappearance, the car he'd been driving was finally found.
For real?
And it was surprisingly close to the ATM that captured this photo. The fact that no one had spotted it sooner suggested that it was likely dumped there later by his abductor. And while it was wiped clean of any fingerprints, just like the card, police did find a blue bandana in the back with the letters ESPBSCLS.
The hell does that mean?
From what I was able to find, ESPBS stood for East Side Playboys, a notorious gang in the
Oh yeah, this is definitely a gang-related crime.
area. Despite this connection, however, investigators weren't able to find any solid evidence that could help them track down the suspect. By this point, the chances of Matt making it out alive were looking increasingly slim. Tragically, his friends and family's worst fear came to light on September 17, 1988, when a group of people found his body floating in a ravine in Pasadena.
No.
He had a gunshot wound in his head. And
Oh. He was literally just depositing money, and then some gang just took him, kidnapped him, and then they shot him in the river, bro. Damn, bro. That is sad. I ain't gonna lie, bro. Rest in peace to that dude who got shot in the head, and that is sad, bro. And my condolences go out to his family. Damn.
according to the autopsy report,
Just to get some cash. That's it. And the Bankley thing, it wasn't even far from him. That's probably like 2 minutes to drive there. That's sad, bro.
was killed and dumped in the ravine 3 months ago, likely a couple days after his abduction. But with no other leads, Matt's case went cold for the next 30 years. Then, in 2018, LAPD announced that they had the answer to Matt's disappearance. According to the report, Matt was killed by a 20-year-old gangster named David Mesa, who went
Oh yeah, this wannabe Joe Biden dude?
by the name Bear. Apparently, David's girlfriend confirmed that the man in the ATM photo was indeed her boyfriend.
Damn.
As for David himself,
What?
a 20-year-old gangster named David Mesa, who went by the name Bear. Apparently, David's girlfriend confirmed that the man in the ATM photo was indeed her boyfriend. As for David
Damn.
himself, police found out that he was killed in a gang-related shootout just 2 days after he supposedly killed Matt. Now, this raises more questions than it answers. Like, why would anyone kidnap and kill someone just for $400? Was
Facts.
David alone in all of this?
And $400 is not even a lot though. Although to some people it is, but $400? I mean, it's a lot, but it's not at the same time though.
Or did he
So sad though.
have any accomplices? And if David died days after committing the crime, who dumped Teresa's car near the original crime scene 3 weeks later?
The abductor?
That said, this revelation was still enough to give Matt's friends and family the closure they needed after 3 decades.
Damn, that's sad. Rest in peace to dude.
It's somebody who learns.
Sad, rest in peace.
In March of 1998,
We got a new case.
23-year-old Amy Lynn Bradley went on a cruise with her brother and 2 parents. However, what began as a joyful family vacation descended into a disturbing nightmare just 3 days later. One the Bradley family hasn't recovered from to this day. On the night of March 23rd, Amy and her family dined out in one of the ship's restaurants. And according to her family, Amy was getting a lot of attention from other passengers, as well as the staff, including the band playing in the restaurant.
Yo.
Some of the waiters even proposed taking Amy to a bar on the
Is that the Titanic?
mainland before the ship sailed, but she declined. After the dinner, Amy and her brother Brad went to the ship's nightclub for a few hours and returned to their room at around 3:30 a.m. They
Damn.
sat around and chatted on the balcony for a few hours before Brad went to bed, leaving Amy on the cabin's private balcony. Around 5:30 in the morning, their father Ron checked on the kids and saw Amy peacefully sleeping on a lounge chair outside on the balcony. But when he returned 30 minutes later, Amy was gone.
No way. Damn, no. I mean, 30 minutes is fast, but it's not at the same time. What the hell?
Thinking that she likely went to the main deck, Ron went looking for her. However, even after hours of searching, he couldn't find Amy anywhere. All of her belongings were
No.
still in the room, including her shoes. So when Ron informed the ship's crew, they floated the idea that Amy could have fallen overboard. The crews had also docked at Curacao
How would she do that if she's casually sleeping on the balcony like that?
that
Her pop said she was sleeping good.
morning, resulting in over
How though?
three, including her shoes. So when Ron informed the ship's crew, they floated the idea that Amy could have fallen overboard. The cruise had
No
also
way.
docked at Curacao that morning, resulting in over 3,000 passengers disembarking the ship. If she was among the departing passengers, her parents had no way of spotting her in the crowd. So they focused their efforts on the ship itself and started scouring every inch of it to find Amy, to no avail. But then something incredibly strange happened.
For real?
As Brad was looking for his sister, he was approached by the nightclub's bassist, Alistair Douglas, offering his condolences for Amy's disappearance. He was dancing with
What?
which happened. As Brad was looking for his sister, he was approached by the nightclub's bassist, Alistair Douglas, offering his condolences for Amy's disappearance.
Oh my gosh, bro.
He was dancing with Amy the night before, but he shouldn't have had any way of knowing
Now watch the dude that offered him condolences killed her, bro.
about her going missing. This made Alistair the lead suspect, but after further investigation and a successful polygraph test, he was cleared of any suspicion. The Bradley family, along with the FBI, then began
Hey, they better sue the hell out of that boat company thing or the yacht thing and sue them for 3.5 billion, bro, or at least realistically 15 or 30 million, bro.
searching for Amy on the island of Curacao, where they received their first promising lead. A local cab driver claimed to have spoken with a woman who matched Amy's description to a T. Unfortunately, the tip didn't lead to any major breakthroughs. So, with no other option, the Bradley family was forced to return home to the U.S. Then, in August 1998, a Canadian tourist named David Carmichael saw someone he believed was Amy on Curacao Island.
For real?
We're in a small area where we wash off the equipment in fresh water, and I looked down the beach and I saw a girl walking down the beach with being flanked by two people. The minute she heard I spoke English, she picked up her pace and was putting distance between her and the two people that were flanking her.
Damn.
I was 2 feet away from her. 2 feet. That's how close I was. I don't even have to think about it. It's 100%. It's not 99. It's 100%. It was her. It was.
David also claimed that one of the men following her fit the description of Alistair. David also claimed that one of the men following her fit the description of Alistair. Later investigation also revealed that an American naval officer was visiting an adult establishment on the island in 1999. There he met someone who claimed her name was Amy Bradley. Unfortunately, the officer never reported the incident, likely to avoid repercussions for visiting such an establishment while on duty. By the time this information surfaced, the place had already burned to the ground, and with it any records of the people who might have worked there. However, the most important clue about Amy came in 2005, when someone found pictures of an older Amy on the internet. These pictures, along with her earlier sightings, led many to believe that Amy was kidnapped and trafficked, possibly by Alistair, with some even suspecting a coordinated effort involving multiple crew members. That said, nothing ever came of this theory, and Amy was declared legally dead on March 24th. With some even suspecting a coordinated effort involving multiple crew members. That said, nothing ever came of this theory, and Amy was declared legally dead on March 24, 2010, 12 years after her disappearance. Now, it's still possible that Amy simply fell overboard
Rest in peace.
and drowned, and that the woman seen on Curacao and
I don't know. It could either be that or the dude took her and killed her somewhere.
the one in the photos are nothing more than unfortunate lookalikes. But with so many scattered clues pointing toward a far darker possibility, it's hard to write them off as a simple case of mistaken identity.
Let me go back.
Hard to write them.
Hey, what do y'all think about this? I mean, I see the eyebrows a little bit, the eyes, a little bit the ears. I give him that. The nose, not really. The mouth, pause. A little bit, but either way, if she's dead, God bless her soul, and Rest in peace to her, and my condolences go out to her family. And if that dude really like killed her and abducted her on some kidnapping shit, bro, make sure you repent, bro. If you're watching this video, which I doubt that, but hey man, these 4 stories were scary. Comment down below which one was the scariest to y'all or the most disturbing. I appreciate y'all watching this video. Make sure y'all subscribe. Make sure y'all turn the noise on. Make sure y'all share the video. Make sure y'all turn the noise on. Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the life. And I'm gonna see y'all next video, y'all. Golly, I messed up my whole outro. That's my first time doing that. But I'm gonna see y'all next video. Love y'all.